though. Look at my nigga Jalen Rose. Tell me that ain't that's a fucking robot or some shit. That ain't no fucking click or nothing.
Ain't no way this nigga regular person.
Bro, look at this shit. This nigga a robot. My city.
Still as fuck.
And then the bitch. I just peeped this shit watching the game in the finals.
Look at Shaq. Look at Shaq. Look at his face.
See, other nigga
He's
talking.
not moving.
This nigga not
Look.
talking.
And he not
Look
gonna
at
move
him.
until they say
This
his
nigga not
name.
moving.
Look
He
at
is
his
stuck.
eyes. Look everything.
Look at
Nothing.
this.
Nothing. Look at his hands. Nothing.
Watch the ball hook from the left to the right.
Exactly. It's
see
just
the
like
ball
these field
move
goals
like
I talk
that,
about in
fight,
the
it should
NFL that
change
are bending
direction,
out
start to
sideways
top.
of the pulse,
Like,
and then
like
all of
how
a
to
sudden
get
in
some more
midair
air
they
or
change
some shit to
direction and
fix
fly
the
back
shot.
through the uprights. They're using technology in sports. It's undeniable.
Like this
Either
shit,
that or
like
these
it was
people
a
are
bad
fucking
angle, so they
magicians.
switched it so it get more air type shit.
I gotta say something. This going back to rookie when we played y'all. When we was the game was
That
about to
shit,
get tied.
wow, that shit just did some whole other shit.
It looked like something to just do with football. Off the goal points.
Oh, the extra point. The extra point.
Bro, I said there gotta be a replay.
That shit did some whole change direction. This is going straight at first.
You know how back in the days, man, like 2008, they used to have a little X and you get to replay that play.
That nigga look like the fuck. I know. Damn, I ain't never seen no boy like that, nigga. I've been doing, you know how many balls I done kick, nigga.
You shouldn't
Look
have
at
that
him.
look on your face. So it looks like Justin Tucker really felt like he hit that ball the way he needed to hit it.
Pick your poison. The Suns in the game 5 got
Alright,
into
this
the
one.
paint.
This
Now
is
they're
81
knocking
days
down their
before
shots with
Kobe's
confidence.
birthday. You
Devin
see it on
Booker
screen, June
is
4th. I'm
staying
pulling the
on
calendar.
script.
You see he got the 24th point. August 23rd, that's Kobe's birthday. Like June 4th, the day of the game, to August 23rd. I'll put up the calculator. 80 days. Heard niggas say, oh, still on script. Like I say 80 days. But this is not including the end date. If you include the end date, it's 81. You know what I'm saying? So 81 days, Devin Booker scored the 24th point 81 days before Kobe's birthday. You know, Kobe scored 81 points. They like, oh, staying on script.
All
But this
right,
shit right
welcome
here
back,
crazy.
True
So this is how you know they
Got
robots.
to
How
talk
the fuck
about
they
what
pull this
happened in
off.
the
Like,
Phoenix
they knew
Suns
this shit
game
was gonna
last
happen.
night and why it's reminiscent
Ain't no
of
way.
what happened to Alex Smith
I'ma let
November
shit go.
18th, 2018. Alex Smith got it a lot worse. He busted his leg, but the ritual is reminiscent. We'll talk about why. If you missed this last night, Devin Booker and
Ain't no way
Beverly,
all this shit
Patrick
added up
Beverly
like
of the
that.
Clippers, their heads collided. Beverly was D'ing up Booker, and Booker tried to juke him, and Beverly was reaching in for the ball at the same time, and their heads smashed into each other. And Booker hit the floor, and Beverly took it a lot more like a champ. But I think Beverly hit it more like on the top of his forehead, where Booker got it more right here. But you know, Booker hit the floor, and you know the whistle blew, and the clock stopped right at 3:22. And of course, remember what happened to Alex Smith? We'll get to that in a moment. But that was the 322nd day of the year, and J.J. Watt with the 322 March 22nd birthday was on top of him. We talked about J.J. Watt and 322 a lot earlier this year when Houston, where he was at the time with the Texans, froze and the power went out on the date that we told everybody to circle for possible power outages at the beginning of the year. Again, the power of this knowledge, the things it allows you to see and have a better understanding of. But I got a question about what we witnessed last night. So what made this so interesting, though, is right after they showed the collision and that both men were bleeding, they showed Booker down on the floor with the blood coming from his head, and then they showed Beverly going to the locker room. Shortly after that, the camera went over to a woman on the sidelines who was wearing a T-shirt of Steve Nash with a very similar-looking face to this when Steve Nash busted his face in the playoffs. So they showed this woman in the crowd who has not in the crowd, she's on the front row. She's right there next to the players wearing a T-shirt of Steve Nash, a former Phoenix Sun, the same team that Devin Booker now plays for, with his face all bandaged and bloodied up. So when they did that last night, right after the game, like I was just like, wow, the 322 thing is interesting, and it wasn't like video worthy or it wasn't documentation worthy, but it was interesting. But then as soon as the camera went to this woman, I was like, okay, what is going on, man? What is going on? And if you guys are new here, you might not know about the number 322, but you can always go back and look up the clip of Tim Russert in back-to-back weeks interviewing the two men running for President of the United States, George W. Bush for re-election in 2004 versus John Kerry for the Democrats. Both men in back-to-back weeks were asked by Tim Russert, why is 322 so important to Skull and Bones, the secret society that they were both members of, and they both laughed about and said they couldn't say it was a secret. Again, there's a lot
to this number, but with regards to the one thing that we talk about the most, Gematria, which comes from Kabbalah, which is part of the ancient mystery religions. When you write out ancient mystery religions, it equals 322. And remember, Genesis 322 references the tree of life, which is the physical model for Kabbalah. And Genesis is the beginning of the Abrahamic religions' beliefs. All the Abrahamic religions are based out of the Torah, the beginning of the Bible that starts with Genesis. But Abrahamic religions is 322 as well. So this number has this biblical significance. It's coded into the verse that hints at the ancient mystery religions, which includes things like Kabbalah, which says God created the world with numbers, letters, and words, and all these other ancient teachings, from Hermeticism to alchemy, having influence and power over others, understanding how to control vibrations. Everything has a vibration, understanding how to master those vibrations. It's like the world elite are clearly aware of this. They're rigging all their sports this way. They're contriving their news stories every single day this way. And again, for anyone who doubts that, the only reason you doubt it is because you're too lazy to test it out. Everyone who's ever tested it has proven the same thing and proven that you can't doubt the work. Again, you cannot debunk Gematria.
Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Thursday, May 27th, 2021, at least still on the West Coast where I am. About 10 p.m., the Lakers and Suns game just wrapped up. And what we're going to be talking about is how scripted the NBA is and truly how satanic it is. And if you think that that's wrong, please stay tuned and listen, especially if you're watching these games where they're giving you the Ford truck advertisement about 50 times per game, the beast cometh. We're going to put all this together here tonight. But again, the NBA is so scripted, you guys, and to continue to deny that, you will only cheat yourself. Tonight, the Miami Heat picked up their 110th playoff franchise loss, 110 days from Jimmy Butler's birthday. Tonight, the Nuggets gave the Blazers the 97th head-to-head loss between the two teams all time, 97 days from Jokic's birthday. Of course, 97 is the 25th prime, and the Nuggets also picked up their 25th road win in their playoff franchise history. And then the Lakers had the ritual of the night, paying tribute to the number of the beast. And again, if you guys are new here, I have two books. In my first book, there's a chapter where I talk about how and why they pay tribute to the number of the beast with LeBron. And I wrote this years ago. Since then, we have many more examples. Like last year, Frank Vogel went into the playoffs with 666 games under his belt. But tonight, the Lakers won their first playoff game since Kobe Bryant, who remember had his career high in his 666th career game. I want you to understand how they paid tribute to the number of the beast tonight with Gematria. And I said to Sweet Lady, I was already big on the Lakers tonight. I thought there was almost no way the Lakers would come up anything short of the W tonight. But I told Sweet Lady, I said, watch, LeBron will score the 47th points tonight. And when he does, you'll know it's game over. When he scored those 47th points, the Lakers just went on a tear from there and separated the game. But look at this, you guys. Gematria, if you're new here, it's based on the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. And as you can see, I've written on the screen, and number of the beast equals 174, 66, 258, and 87. They paid tribute to number of the beast with all four of these numbers tonight. Tonight, LeBron got his 174th career playoff win. Number of the beast is 174 when you just run the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26. Very simple. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4. But tonight, LeBron got his 174th playoff win. Remember, LeBron equals 66, Lakers equals 66, and LeBron James equals 66, like number of the beast does when you use the alphabetic order and rules of numerology. Tonight, the Lakers became 25-8 versus the Suns all-time in the playoffs at home. 25-8. 25 was a big number in the games today. It went in the Milwaukee-Miami game in a few ways in favor of Milwaukee and against Miami, but the word Thor equals 25. And Thursday is named after Thor, And you think of Thor, you think of a big Scandinavian. Not exactly what Nikola Djokovic is, but he had a big 25 ritual today on Thursday or Thursday. But then the 87, the name James equals 87, like number of the beast. And tonight, LeBron put in the 47th points to make the score 47-40, put the Lakers up 7 in the Euro 7s, and then they went on a tear from there and quickly had a 17-point lead. But the word beast in the most simple cipher is 47, right? And if you watched, when they came back from the commercial break and LeBron scored right away to make it 47-40, the last commercial they showed, which is the same commercial they're showing the most during the NBA playoffs, is Ford's The Beast Cometh. And if you have not seen that ad, let me play it real quick. Well, but here, before I play the ad, please know this about Henry Ford. He died in the year 47 on the date April 7th. And they always do rituals with 47 at Ford Field in Detroit. Notice Ford Field has the gematria 47. But here, if you've not seen this Beast Cometh commercial, this is one of 2 commercials Ford is running right now. The other one is about how the Colt becomes the Bronco, and they just